Busy as a bee. Everyone knows this saying. But do bees really work without a break? Do they ever rest? The answer is more surprising than you might expect. Bees are not machines. They have their rhythms, breaks, and even something scientists call sleep. But the truth is that the organization of work in the hive is one of the most efficient systems nature has ever created. A system that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even if no individual bee does. Today we'll look at a real day in the life of a bee. The hive never sleeps, but that doesn't mean every bee works non-stop. Bees work in shifts. When some rest, others take over their duties. It's like a factory running 3 shifts. Production never stops, but the workers rotate. Research shows that a worker bee works an average of 6 to 8 hours per day. The rest of the time she spends resting, grooming, and patrolling the hive. But these working hours aren't continuous. A bee works in short bursts interrupted by breaks. 15 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest, then 15 minutes of work again. This rhythm is incredibly efficient. A bee never works to exhaustion inside the hive. She saves energy for the most important task that awaits her at the end of her life: collecting nectar. The division of labor inside the hive is not random. It follows a precise age-based sequence that scientists call temporal polyethism. Young bees perform tasks that require staying close to the brood: cleaning, feeding, and warming the larvae. As they age, their glands change and they take on new roles. Wax production peaks in the 2nd week. Guard duty comes in the 3rd. Foraging begins only when the bee is fully mature. This progression ensures that the most experienced bees take on the most demanding and dangerous work, while the youngest and most vulnerable remain protected inside the hive. Yes, bees sleep. This discovery surprised even scientists. A sleeping bee looks distinctive. Her antennae droop, her legs bend, and her body tilts slightly to the side. Some bees sleep in empty honeycomb cells, others on the surface of the combs. Bees have sleep cycles similar to ours. They go through phases of light and deep sleep. In deep sleep, their muscles relax and their responses to external stimuli weaken. Researchers from the University of Würzburg discovered that bees go through 3 sleep phases. The first is a light nap. The bee is motionless but responds to touch and sounds. The antennae move sporadically. The second phase is deeper sleep. The antennae stop moving, responses to stimuli are delayed, muscles relax. The third phase is the deepest sleep. The bee doesn't respond to light touch. The antennae hang motionless. The body is completely relaxed. Some scientists believe that in this phase, bees may be processing memories from the day. The entire sleep cycle lasts about 30 minutes. A bee goes through several such cycles during the night. In total, she sleeps 5 to 8 hours per day. A young bee, in the first 3 weeks of her life, works inside the hive. Her day looks roughly like this. She wakes up in a honeycomb cell. She grooms herself, combing her body with her legs. Then she sets out on patrol. She checks cells with larvae, feeds them, cleans empty cells. Between tasks, she rests. She stands motionless on the comb or walks without purpose. Scientists call this patrolling. The bee checks whether help is needed somewhere. When her wax glands are active, the bee builds comb. This is hard work. Wax production requires enormous amounts of energy. A bee must eat 8 kilograms of honey to produce 1 kilogram of wax. At the end of the day, the house bee finds a quiet spot on the comb and falls asleep. But her sleep is light. Any alarm, any unusual scent immediately wakes her. The life of a forager looks completely different. It's more intense and more dangerous. A forager wakes up at dawn. She checks the weather at the hive entrance. If it's warm and dry, she sets out on her first flight. She flies to the flowers she memorized the day before. One flight lasts from 20 minutes to an hour. The bee visits hundreds of flowers, filling her honey stomach with nectar and her pollen baskets with pollen. Then she returns to the hive, delivers her haul, and rests. During the day, a forager makes 8 to 12 such flights. Between flights, she rests for 15 to 30 minutes. She eats honey, grooms herself, sometimes dances to inform other bees about good nectar sources. In the evening, when it gets cool, the forager returns to the hive for the night. She finds a spot on the comb and sleeps until morning. Her working day runs from sunrise to sunset. Although most bees rest at night, the hive is not empty and silent then. The night shift consists of bees responsible for ventilation. They fan their wings at the hive entrance, ensuring air circulation. This is crucial for maintaining the right temperature and humidity. Guards also work at night. They watch the entrance, ready to repel an attack from a wax moth or mouse that might enter the hive. The queen lays eggs at any time of day or night. Her work knows no breaks. Nurse bees must be available around the clock to attend to her. The hive at night is not silence. It's the muffled hum of thousands of wings and quiet footsteps on the combs. There is also a category of bees that scientists call undertakers. Their job is to remove dead bees and larvae from the hive. They work at all hours, carrying corpses out of the entrance and dropping them at a safe distance. A healthy colony removes its dead within 30 minutes of death. This rapid removal prevents the spread of disease. Even in death, the hive maintains its extraordinary standards of hygiene. The bee work system is incredibly efficient. No bee has a boss, no schedule, no meetings. Bees respond to the needs of the colony. When nectar is scarce, more bees become foragers. When it's too hot, more bees ventilate the hive. When larvae appear to be fed, more bees activate their brood glands. This system is called self-organization. Each bee makes decisions locally based on what it sees and feels around it. And from these thousands of local decisions, global harmony emerges. Scientists have been studying this system for years. It inspires robot designers, computer algorithms, and logistics systems. Bees solve the problem of management without managers. A bee doesn't work 24 hours a day, but the hive does. Every bee has its own rhythm of work and rest. She sleeps, eats, grooms herself. But the system is designed so that someone is always working. Someone is always watching. Someone is always building. This is not slavery, it's cooperation. 50,000 beings, each doing what is most needed at any given moment. The next time someone tells you that you're as busy as a bee, take it as a compliment, because bees don't just work hard, they work smart. Leave a thumbs up if this episode surprised you. Subscribe to Hive Mind to discover more secrets of the hive. See you in the next one.